First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Look at those cloud streets out there, Lou. Oh, we had a brief look at them.
I wanted to see him. I wanted to see him more. There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, glorious. That's beautiful.
I like that term, cloud streets.
Yeah,
Streets of clouds.
streets of clouds, and we're riding right through busy traffic up in the sky.
Yeah.
Traffic was terrible coming into work today for no reason. On 95, right at 250, like at Emerson, where I usually get off.
Was it raining down there?
No,
at that time.
I mean, it was raining at 9B. It was raining at we had some pretty good thunderstorms right on the very eastern end of Racetrack, right where you kind of getting off Peyton and 9B, right at that Durban area where all the lightning was popping. I know a couple of schools actually had to hold their kids back because of thunder and lightning. So had those issues, but
it's all the extra kids and parents out there on the roads, right?
Might be, but just randomly it happens. Even in the middle of the summer, it was happening to me. Just for some reason, you get north of JTB, and then I guess it's just everybody getting on from JTB, but it's just like, God, it's awful.
I've noticed on Fridays, typically, it's terrible when I'm coming into work. Slowest day all week long, typically.
It's just like, I want one good back road. And there is a couple. Like, I take 13 sometimes, but then you're hitting every traffic light. And that's no cupcake either.
When you got to drop that new truck in a four-wheel drive.
Drop it down low, baby. Really dig in.
Now, you don't have a truck like our Protector.
No,
the
I do
Protector
not.
out there.
No,
wheels
I do not.
are a little bit smaller. You probably
got a
couldn't-
Hemi, brother.
Yeah.
That's that Dodge.
You couldn't handle the Protector as a personal
I don't
truck.
want to try. So man's got to know his limitations.
Yeah.
And you know what? I that's why I've put Ross in charge of he's my Protector champion. So you take that
Now,
thing and you run.
I won't say what brand of truck you got, but my father and I are a little disappointed.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay,
say.
that's a behind the scenes take, but yeah, I get it. I understand. You got to show me the money, baby. Follow the cash money. Let's should we get into it?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, let's get into it.
We got some storms out there today.
We do, and as mentioned, there's that pop-up right along 95. You notice they're in the loop. We're getting that, I-95, 295 had some really, really heavy rain where 9B kind of meets 295. And then it's pretty cool, the outflow from that kind of just migrated right across St. Johns River and then did this. That storm system was the steering flow is straight out of the south.
Yeah.
So it's not like that storm that was over 95 gradually moved across St. Johns County and then made it into Clay and Putnam. No, it kind of built something else entirely new. And now all that's left of that storm is up there kind of sort of near Nocatee, right at the St. John's Duval line. So
and while the precipitable water values are a little bit lower today, with how the storms are moving, the actual storm motion could get some training here. So we'll watch for some minor flooding at the very least. But we'll just kind of take a little roundabout tour here, circuitous route.
Let's do it.
For areas south of Jacksonville. So there was the lone thunderstorm that was left in St. Johns County, starting to fizzle out up towards Durban and Nocatee there, right along Route 1. Further off to the west, right in the heart of Clay County, Penny Farms.
There you go.
Middleburg, or south sides of Middleburg, seeing some heavy rain, some lightning in that thunderstorm as well. So if you live really right near the Clay County Fairgrounds.
There you go.
Love going down there for the Clay County Fair.
Fun.
Or Strawberry Festival even. They got some fun stuff down there.
Penny Farm's a good place, very near the Seamark Ranch, if you've ever been out that way.
Okay.
Very cool stuff.
Add that to my list.
They do a great mud run. I don't know, you a mud run guy? You ever done a couple of those?
No.
Never?
My cousin has, though.
Okay, they do a good one. It's
I'm a little too soft for that.
It's the perfect introductory level. It's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's still hard. I'm not Seamark. I'm not calling your mud run tough. But it has been since 2012 since I've been out there. So
it's been a few years.
It's been a few years. But I will say they've got some hills, they got some woods, they dig some trenches. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to say it's not 101 mud run, but maybe the 200 level class. Okay.
You think I could handle it?
100%. Yeah, you're a jogger.
Are you sure? You and Anthony were judging how much I could bench yesterday, so I'm not sure.
Okay, we had a little private text going about bench press weight. And listen, don't judge.
It's fine.
You don't judge a man by you judge a man by the content of his character, not how much weight he can move on the bar. So,
It took a little while to get that one out.
yeah, I had to think about it. I had to think about my history. Let's go
Further south.
going to Palatka.
Yes. So east sides of Interlaken, Palatka. We actually do have a camera down there in Palatka. I don't have it pulled up right now, but it typically shows you a good look at some of the storms down there. Wallaka down towards the northern side of Crescent City as well, seeing some thunderstorms. So all of these sub-severe. We'll watch for wind gusts upwards of perhaps 30, maybe even 40 miles per hour, and a few of the stronger ones, and see if we do get any downbursts. There is some drier air aloft, so although the overall coverage of storms will be lesser today, that somewhat drier air could actually produce some stronger, downbursts and downdrafts in some of these thunderstorms, either right now or continuing through the rest of our, late afternoon and into the evening hours, as the overall storm area will very, very slowly move a little bit further westward. So we'll watch for that through the rest of this evening. But right now, most thunderstorm activity down across Clay and Putnam County. Cooling some people off down there. You got mid-80s from St. Augustine down to Palatka, even Orange Park at 86. But elsewhere, it's pretty steamy, Lou. 90s. You got 94 in Waycross. Feels like 106 both in Jacks and Waycross right now. 108 in St. Simons. So this is going to be a trend that we're going to see here for the next couple of days. Isolated storms, right? And then some pretty hot, just sultry days and afternoons. You and I talked when you got in here this morning. I was taking the dog for a walk, and it was just like downright gross.
80 degrees.
It was just nasty.
Yeah, it was. And so we'll flirt with, if not just straight up get the heat advisories. As we get through the week. So
Thursday, Friday probably. I don't think they'll have one issue tomorrow, but certainly
Thursday,
think by the end
Friday.
of the week and into the perhaps Saturday.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yep. So very hot. We're getting up back to those mid upper 90s by the end of the week, and with that and the humidity that we've got in place, anticipate heat index values in the triple digits. So we go to Wednesday and think about our rain chances. Awfully similar today. Maybe a few more. Get some rumbles of thunder out there. So we'll think about school dismissal time. I'm not, I like to kind of, as a parent, I think about, do I have to change my routine? Am I going to so my son rides a bike to school, and is it one of those kind of afternoons where I'm like, dang it, all right, he does, we're going to have to pick him up. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of parents thinking like, are the thunderstorms going to be that bad to where I've got to change the afternoon routine? I have to take a little time off early, or somebody's got to leave work early. I don't think we're quite there. It might be one of those situations where most schools, are going to, if they have the thunderstorms, they're going to hold the kids back anyway. But there you go. That's right at school dismissal. So 3 o'clock, a few around, quick moving, but by the evening, maybe riding that West Coast breeze back out to the beaches. So we'll see. But a few more of us will maybe see a few thunderstorms tomorrow.
Yeah, especially closer to Jacksonville, I think, in contrast to today. South sides of the metro saw some today, but maybe a little more. Closer to 95 tomorrow. Similar story on Thursday. You got that oppressive humidity. Temperatures in the mid-90s for both your Thursday and your Friday. And that's why we talked about the potential for the heat advisories, right? You factor that in. It's going to be feeling anywhere from about 105 to perhaps 110 Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're back to the sticky ickies, the muggy buggies.
It's the... We're getting back to the heat. Not quite the excessive heat warnings that we had a couple weeks back in July. So weather impact alerts. I think once we've already had the excessive heat warning, I think we're kind of like, okay.
Everyone's somewhat like acclimated to it now.
Yeah, we're in the dead doldrums of summer, and the things that kind of mix that up and change things up for us would be a good solid front that we can look forward to maybe, in 3 months, or something out of the tropics.
I will, but right before we...
I'm not going to do that.
No. Right before the tropics. I was just going to add quick. I keep very close tabs on our average highs and lows.
Yeah.
And I like to deem myself self-proclaimed statistics person here.
Nice.
Just with our what did our high get today? Our low, rain, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Our average highs starting to come down.
So we're out of that 92 back down to 91 now.
Exactly.
And so that's the good stuff.
I noticed that yesterday, and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
There's Ross
I'm so excited!"
clinging to those fall thoughts,
Ramped.
pumpkin spice lattes, soup season, and
It's going to be winter before we know it.
92 to 91, baby.
Yeah.
But the day's getting a little bit shorter, as we showed you in a previous graphic on one of these streams. I mean,
That is becoming a little bit more noticeable.
Yeah.
Especially in the mornings.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it on GMJ
absolutely.
and stuff.
Just a little bit later. Yep.
You lose about what, like a minute?
Yep.
Of daylight every morning for sunrise.
Love to show that sunrise every morning. And here's let's transition to a time of talking tropics, and the song of the day. So you had a bad day.
Oh,
Singing it. I've been singing it since before the stream. I've sang it when I was watching Erin a little bit earlier today. It's having a bad day. Now that's not to say it's not going to continue to have bad days. It's going to develop, but it just we've seen better looking satellite imagery.
yeah. This is not looking impressive at all.
This is your water vapor, and it is running into a very hostile, dry environment right now.
That's Sahara dust.
Yeah, a good bit of dust, dry, hot up above, and that's not favorable. Now, a couple things to think about with that, and there you go. There's a picture. Now, earlier in the day, there were some peaks. There you go. I mean, very
little bit.
early, indicate we get a little center circulation there, but it's getting kind of beat up with some dry air, and you see a little lopsided on its eastern side, but. Oh, and you know what? Just a technology question. So Anthony Austin asked me, why are we seeing that red flash in the middle of the satellite?
Yeah, that would be the satellite.
That's the satellite's fault, all right? It does that. So when we look at other satellite imagery, sometimes you'll see a little flash frame. It's just like one piece of information coming down from outer space or, near orbit is just glitched. So, yes, that's why you see that. It's nothing else. It's just a little...
I was going to say, if you watch a satellite loop from us or from anywhere else,
you're going to see that exact thing because
Yep.
we're all using the same satellites.
Yep.
And that exact little moment in time is caught. And so that's just a little issue with information coming down. But so a couple of things with that slower development. So Ross and I were talking before we came in. The slower this develops, and the cone is showing this. You see that kind of dip a little further south.
Mm-hmm.
That is being the weaker this thing is, and the longer it stays a tropical storm or even pretty disorganized, it has the propensity to kind of dip a little bit further south, a little weaker. The opposite thought, you might think, oh gosh, the stronger this gets quicker, that's bad news, right? Well, not all the time. In fact, the stronger it gets, actually will allow it, to make, just centripetal force. It will just have that propensity to turn. I keep saying propensity, and I'm going to continue to. That's my word of the day. Every time you get it, take a cookie from the jar, to turn more to the right. So we actually would be good to see some strengthening because the closer this and further south it dips and the potential to impact the Lesser Antilles and the Windward Leeward Islands, the more it's going to take its time to do that northern track that we continue to see. I mean, we still see that.
Yeah.
Just how late does it happen?
Well, I want to ask you, since I wasn't here for this one storm, but I've seen a lot of people try to draw comparisons to it online.
What, Irma?
Exactly, yeah. And one of our photographers asked about it. So I want to ask you, what do you see that is either similar or, that looks different from Erin to Irma, at least initially? Are there similarities or, contrasts that you can pull from, or is it still too early to tell?
Yeah,
it's kind of just an open-ended
No, it's interesting.
question.
It's an interesting question. So
Because I have seen it circulated around a little bit of people saying, this is a similar track to what Irma took, at least to start.
What's going to happen is the ridge to the north is going to have to stay strong because Irma's, you're going to have to get, it's going to have to stay south. If you want to see that, you don't want to see it.
So you're saying during Irma,
Yeah.
that Bermuda High
Yeah.
and ridge was much stronger.
Correct.
And kept it force south the whole way.
And I will say, I was looking at some history and some past tracks of storms that, in history, you're talking, I think there have been 93, recorded, hurricane, obviously we get past recorded history, but so we're talking tracks back to 1860s. And there have been 93 storms and I want to get my facts straight. It was 93 storms that have passed within 150 miles of where Erin is right now.
I think
Have you seen this?
Yes, I think I have.
Did you see this shared? And only 6 have made landfall.
Yeah, I saw the percentage is very, very low.
Very low. Irma was one of them. All
Yes.
right? Ike, and so that's recent memory. Ike was another. That would have been '08, I want to say. And then some other ones. I mean, you're going back
A ways.
a long time.
When I saw they mentioned Erin has started off a little bit further north than what some of the other storms do. They're typically a little bit further south, where there's some warmer waters. Erin has been over some cooler waters over the last day or two, and has just started off on a more northerly, latitude line.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's 17 north. I mean, that 20-degree north line is one of those. It's like, okay, let's say if it's at 20, really low likelihood that it's going to stay right there. You see those closer to like 15 north. And even south, that's where you start thinking, oh, well, this might just boogie right on into the Caribbean and become a problem. And one of those the ones that kind of cross into the Caribbean are the ones you have to watch because there's so many wild cards at play. And this doesn't this isn't threatening that at all. But you're dealing with the mountains of Dominican Republic and Haiti, right? Hispaniola
and Cuba even.
And then you're dealing with Cuba, Jamaica even. These mountainous island, they become like a Plinko game, and it's like trying to really nail that cone. When you're coming out of the Caribbean is so hard, and it's like I got to see this thing emerge back out into either the Straits of Florida or back out into the more northern part of the Caribbean or the Bahamas even, because we've seen. I mean, it plays games with, and it matters. Like even those thin strips of mountain, it matters. But that's not the threat with this. Now, most spaghetti modeling. Would this be? Are we getting 18Z numbers now? Not quite.
I
don't know. I don't know yet.
I don't think so.
I think they were starting to come in. But
a lot of these look similar to what it had.
But even the what I saw, just the 18Z is similar. I mean, there are a couple of outliers, but generally speaking, is still indicating that kind of weakness in the ridge, which will show you the kind of the splitting of the uprights and then that turn, which we're going to get the Friday, Saturday this weekend, and probably Thursday, Friday is when we get our first hurricane of 2025. Saturday, Sunday, we're getting into bathwater, and we're going to get that major hurricane. Okay, so go ahead and check those things off the list. So we'll be behind a little later, climatologically speaking, for our first hurricane, but a little early.
Because what's today's date? The 12th.
Today's the 12th.
So yesterday should have been the day we saw our first hurricane.
11th is usually our first, and then our first major is usually I think September. It's a September date. Okay. So I want to say that's what I was looking at. We have that graphic.
Not September 7th though.
Not September 7th. What is September 7th?
Okay.
Is that a magic day? Is that your birthday?
Yeah, it is.
Happy birthday, Russell.
Also, I want to thank someone who they commented on one of Anthony Austin's Facebook posts from last year on my birthday and wished me a happy birthday.
Already? Dang.
Well, they're either 11 months late or 1 month early. Either way,
they want to be first, because if you're not first, you're last. So major hurricane, and what's going to happen Saturday is the question is going to be, when's the turn happening? When's the turn happening? And that's what we're gonna have to watch for. Sahara and Dust playing a trick on it right now, but
these are just some of the different factors.
Sure, but the warm water eventually is just gonna ultimately trump it with all the convection that's happening.
So I do have that here. So this is only showing sea surface temperatures above 80 degrees. So if you get into that light shaded red color, then you're at least 80 or above. But as it moves towards the northern extent of the Lesser Antilles, north of Puerto Rico, okay, then you're talking about sea surface temperatures 85, 86, 87. I mean, even more so as it moves to the east of the Bahamas. I mean, that's some very, very warm ocean water, and the overall ocean heat content also quite high in that area as well. So as Lou mentioned, despite some of the dry air, despite a little bit of some wind shear that could be in that area, there's just so much energy with the heat and moisture in the ocean right now that's pretty much going to override any other limiting factors with regards to this thing strengthening. But you mentioned the high, and what did you call it? How did you say the...
Split the goalposts.
Split the goalposts. Okay, yeah, there.
Okay, I didn't know what. Well, I've said a few that I didn't know which one we were going for. Okay, so
we're so I think about it because I grew up around like livestock and agriculture, right?
Okay.
I think of the highs as like a fence.
Uh-huh.
And then you got to steer livestock. cattle, sheep, whatever they may be, through the gate.
Got to get them to the gate.
Got to get them to the gate, filter them on through there.
And
So that's what I'm trying to think of. The gate, hopefully, going to swing open.
That's what we're kind of watching now. But the consistency has been there. We've seen this kind of run after run between the Euro and the GFS. Right now, big strong ridge to the north at Bermuda High. We've got a couple of factors that can help weaken the ridge. But we'll just say there's going to be a weakness within that ridge that gives just a gate, an upright, a path of least resistance for this storm to essentially kind of move almost like running downhill. Hit the hole, run downhill, football. I mean,
okay.
Man.
You got your right tackle.
Yep.
And your right guard.
Yep.
Going through the 5-hole there.
They're creating the gap for you.
I guess that's the 3-hole.
Yep. So find it, hit it. We want Erin to find that, and so the stronger the high pressure, the more west it's positioned, the more south this track continues to be. But right now, modeling does suggest that it's going to push a little bit further to the east, and we're good. But one thing that we've seen that low that you can almost see spinning in our model comparison. Certainly, our eyes go directly to the concentric circles near San Juan in Puerto Rico.
But you're talking about the low,
but I'm
up further north there at the top of your
north,
screen.
That's going to help sort of that high retrograde and kind of push it east a bit. So I think and that's been pretty consistent in modeling as well. I like to see the agreement, between GFS and Euro, which is happening here. Although,
especially considering we're about still like 7-8 days out.
Yeah, Euro has this thing. The tighter bullseye look you get, the stronger winds and the stronger system that you've got, the lower pressure. So Euro indicating a stronger storm and a little bit further west, enough to where we're going to get some swells. We're going to get, I think, by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're seeing the waves get a little bit bigger. We could be dealing with small craft advisories and maybe higher than normal tides at times, and
and not just here, right?
Erosion.
The whole eastern seaboard, especially depending on how this thing tracks, even once it does make that northerly turn, the whole way up to Long Island could be seeing some rough surf, some rip current risks. So,
can you go back to that?
This?
Yes. So stopping it there, okay, because that's your stop point. Today we're at the 12th, because I can't forget, we're in pink. It's the easiest date of the month to remember. It is the 12th of the month because we're all wearing pink. Buddy check 12 day. This is 5 days out, and modeling is pretty good when we're talking 5 days out, and now we're even inside that 10-day window. And and now put it back into motion as we see the turn occur, and we get to 20th. And it's latitudinally essentially a beam with Jacksonville at this point. So now we're talking about Wednesday of next week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I want you to leave this knowing like Tuesday, Wednesday are our days. Next week, where our minds will be on it, but we can start to think, okay, on to the next. Yeah. Right. Tuesday, Wednesday. So we've still got a solid week of watching this. It would be, if both of these models are incorrect and the east coast of the United States, Florida is directly impacted by this, that would be a bust of pretty incredible proportions.
Yeah, I think that would be a big surprise.
It would be a massive surprise.
This point.
I'm not saying let your guard down. This is the time to be prepared. We're getting into the busiest time of the season, but it would require some major things to change.
Because it's not just those two models, right?
No, it's not. We show
other models are also
Yeah.
showing the recurve.
Yes.
In a similar area to those two.
Absolutely. Those are your major global models that we always talk about, the GFS and the Euro. You hear that all the time. But yeah, there's hurricane-specific ones that are showing very similar, the ones that run out that far. Yeah. So Ross, wrap it up with a 7-day. I'm just going to shut up now.
Okay, well, the rest of this week, the heat and humidity is going to be the big story. Mid-90s, isolated storm chances in and around Jax each and every afternoon and evening, but not widespread storms with regards to coverage. The weekend, though, I think we are going to